Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I'm starting a new series, How to Make Murder Mystery 2. So this be a very extremely simple and easy series. So if y'all show it love and support, I will keep the series going. It's how all my series work. As long as you show the series love and support, I will keep going. If not, then I won't continue. It's that simple. I do apologize, guys. I know I've only dropped like 2 or 3 videos since the year started and stuff. I'm gonna try to do better. I'm gonna lock in and stuff. I'm gonna do better for you guys. So my bad, but I still appreciate all the love and support you guys have shown. You guys have continued to show the channel, despite the fact that I haven't been uploading as consistently. But let's go ahead and get straight into it. So this is part 1 for how to make the game Murder Mystery. As you probably can assume, it's pretty simple and stuff. So we're just gonna start with a few basic things. So first, we have our Explorer tab over here, right? Let's go ahead and let's make some teams. So as you guys know in the game, you have obviously the person who's the murderer, the person who's the sheriff, spectators, and then innocent, which you're just trying to avoid being killed essentially. So we're gonna head on over to teams if you don't see it. I believe how do you do it? Oh yeah, if you open the window and then you open the command, where is it? Yeah, the command bar, and then and then you do game, get service, teams. You do that, and then it'll pop up, and then you run that, it'll pop up. But that aside, so yeah, so we're gonna create some teams. So it's our first team. I'm just gonna duplicate this. So Control plus D, Control plus D, Control plus D. You can also just copy and paste that, or just insert them 4 times. It doesn't matter. So, very important, very important. Auto assignable. What this property means is that it'll automatically assign the player to this team upon them joining the game. We only want one team to be like that. We want the spectators, right? Automatically make a player spectator. So, spectators, we can say spectators, or let's say their team color is white. Now, for these other 3 teams, we do not want auto assignable. So, let's say for this would be the sheriff team, right? I'll make the team color like blue, and then you guys can choose the team colors. That doesn't matter. And then this will be the murderer. Again, we don't want this to be auto-assignable. We'll make this red. Then for the last team, the innocent, which is just, players that are currently playing the game. So currently playing the game, but just, they don't have any special role or anything. Then we'll make this a nice gray, and then again, disable auto-assignable. Now let's get started with some basic UI, right? So we're gonna make some round stuff like at the top where it says like, okay, waiting for players or something, and then a leaderboard that we're gonna have our own custom leaderboard that keeps track of how many players are in the game and whatnot, so players can see that. So head on over to Starter GUI, click the plus icon, insert a screen GUI. You want to rename this to be Core GUI. Scroll down, disable reset on spawn. Then you want to insert a scrolling frame into it. So scrolling frame, rename the scrolling frame to be leaderboard frame. Then you can like drag this over to like the top right. I'm gonna do 200. I think I'm gonna do, yeah, I'm gonna do something like 200 by 200, right? I'm then going to set the background transparency to be 1. I'm going to insert oh, I spelled that wrong. It's supposed to say frame. Then you're going to insert a UI grid layout. This is going to automatically resize and position all of the elements inside of the frame. So pretty much all the buttons that represent the players in the game and stuff. So for me, you can set this whatever you want. It's up to you guys. I'm just going to do 150 by 50, but it's up to you guys. Then I'm going to make it so that they are centered, wherever that is. Where is that? Yeah, there we go. Make it so that they are centered. Wait, horizontal. It might be vertical. I don't know. We'll have to see. Well, actually, let me see. And then what you can do is you can insert a text button and you'll see how it looks, right? And then if you just, if you just add more, boom. So that's just how it's gonna look. So, yeah. So we're gonna create the buttons via the script. Then for the other thing, insert a regular frame into the core GUI. This is going to be your round frame. So round frame. You can just put this at the top middle. Let's do, I don't know, maybe like 350, right? And then 350 by like 70. You can set the background transparency to be 1. Then you can just insert a text label into the round frame, and then just rename it to be rounds text label, and then you could just set it to be like waiting on players or something. It's up to you. You just say waiting on players, something like that. Then you could do like bold text, rich text, scale text. I can set the text color to be white, text stroke transparency set to 0, and text stroke color will be black by default. And then we can set the background transparency to be 1. Boom. So something like that. Maybe we make this a little bit, because it's already scaled and yeah. Maybe we make this a little bit bigger. So maybe like 80. Yeah, something like that. And then we'll do like 250. Like it covers more of the screen. 300. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So something like that. Okay, cool. So we're done with the UI. Now let's get into the coding. Okay. So let's focus right now on the custom leaderboard stuff. So we need to add a button into this leaderboard frame every time a player joins and leaves the game. So open up starter player, find starter player scripts, plus icon, local script, rename the script to be core script, in parentheses put local. Delete print hello world. You're going to create two variables. First for the local player, so player is equal to game dot players dot local player, and then create a variable for our UI. So core GUI is equal to player dot player GUI, wait for child, core GUI, right? Then we're going to set up the first function. So we're going to say for I comma v in I pairs. You're going to say game dot players colon get children enter. So when the player joins the game, this loop is going to run. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a button for every player that's already in the game and stuff. So we're going to say PLR, which is short for player, is equal to v, right? Then we're going to create our text button. So player text button, we're going to have to set a whole bunch of properties is equal to instance.new text button, right? Player text button dot name we'll say is equal to player dot name. So the player's name dot 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 quotation mark. Then you just put text button. So for me, for example, it'll say SpyJ19 text button. Then player text button dot text will of course just be equal to the player's name. Player text button dot font phase dot bold. I mean, this is optional. It's just design stuff, but player text button dot text scaled is equal to text scaled is equal to true. Player text button dot text color 3 is equal to color 3 dot new 1 comma 1. So white player text button dot text stroke transparency will be set to 0. And then player text button dot parent will parent it, of course, to the leaderboard frame. So core GUI dot leaderboard frame. So pretty much what this will do is this will create a text button for all the players currently in the game when upon the player joining and stuff, so that it'll automatically populate the leaderboard, so that okay, this is everyone in the game. But now we need two functions. One for when players join the game after the player's already joined, and for when they leave. So what we'll do is we'll say game. Okay, I can't spell apparently. Game.players.player added connect function in parentheses put PLR, which is short for the player who joined the game. Enter, and then guess what, guys? All you gotta do is just do this. Just select that, copy, paste, boom. Oh my bad, it's supposed to be PLR. And then boom. Yep, we're done with that function. And then so when players join the game, the button will automatically be created for them. And then let's do the removing. So game.players.player added, or sorry, player removing. Connect function again, PLR, which is for the player who left the game. Enter will first confirm that they have a player text button. So they should, but just to be on the safe side. So is equal to core GUI.leaderboard frame, find first child, player name, quotation marks, text button. So we will say if player text button, tweets if they found it, enter, then we will destroy it. Boom, right? And then it'll automatically move everything. So just like that, we have created our custom leaderboard. Now from here, let's move on to our server side of things. So server script service, we're going to insert a server script. Then inside of that script, we're going to insert a module script, but we're going to start at the server script for now. So you could just rename this to be core script, in parentheses put server, right? Delete the print hello world. We're going to be here for just a solid few seconds and stuff. So what we're going to do is going to create a variable for our module. So say core module is equal to require, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and rename this real quick. So the module's core module. So we're going to say script.core module. Then we're going to create a variable round called round started. I'm pretty sure you guys can tell what this will keep track of. This will keep track of whether or not a game is currently in progress or not and stuff, right? So what we'll do is we'll say game.players.player added connect function in parentheses put PLR, which is short for the player who joined the game, enter. We'll get a player count, so we'll get a head count of all the players currently in the game. So it's equal to that's the number symbol, game.players, get children. So this will just return the number of players in the game. You'll say if not round started, so if the round hasn't started and player count is greater than or equal to. Now you can set this number to whatever you want it to be. Let's say for your game you want it to be a minimum of 5 players or 10, you can set this to whatever you want to be. Realistically speaking, for an actual game, seeing as you'll have one murderer, one sheriff, an an innocent and one innocent person, then you probably just need a minimum of 3. But I mean, realistically, you probably should do for them of like 5 or 6. But it's up to you guys. So enter. Then we will set round start equal to true. And then I'm gonna put it a little delay, 5 seconds. This is really more so for testing purposes. This is so that like you can see it happen. Like, because the problem is when you're testing, if you just automatically just add 5 clients as like test clients, the game's you're just gonna kind of like automatically kind of start. So you don't really want that to happen. So then we'll say core module dot start round. This is a function we're gonna create. So then we're done here. Go to the core module. We'll rename this to be core module. Copy this, paste it here. Go in the middle. Just put some space in between. And then we're going to go ahead and work on the function. So function core module dot start round, close parentheses, enter. So we need to go ahead and figure out this logic. First, we need to figure out who's going to be the murderer. So set this to no by default. Then we also need to figure out who's going to be the sheriff. So again, set this to no by default. So we're going to generate 2 random numbers. First, random number is equal to math.random 1 comma number symbol game.players get children. So what it's going to do is it's going to select a random number from 1 to the amount of players in the game. If there are 8 players in the game, it'll be a number between 1 and 8. If there are 16 players in the game, a number between 1 and 16. Very simple, right? Then you can just copy and paste this, Control C, Control V, and then this will just be our second random number. The first one is for whoever will be the murderer. The second one is whoever will be the sheriff. Now obviously we want to avoid, because keep in mind, like, let's say by some chance it's the same person. We obviously don't want one person to be able to be the murderer and the sheriff. So to avoid that, we're going to use a while loop. We're going to say while random number 2 is equal to random number. So in the while loop, so as long as these two are equal to each other, we're just gonna run the same thing. So you can just copy and paste this part, everything but the local. So copy, paste. You're simply just going to keep randomizing it until it gets a different number than the first one and stuff, right? Then we're gonna use our for loop. So we're gonna to set teams. So for I comma v and I pairs. Then game.players get children enter. Then you'll create a variable for set players equal to v. Then you will say if I is equal to, so I is just simply the number. So remember, right? Each time you go through the loop, that's a specific player. So like the first player on the server, I will be equal to 1. Second player, I will be equal to 2, and so on, right? So if I is equal to a random number, the first one, then that means this player is the murderer. So murderer is equal to player.name. Then we'll update said player's team. So player.team is equal to game.teams.murderer. And then we'll just do, the vice versa for the sheriff. So let's just copy and paste this part, Control C, enter, type the word else, then paste, boom, and then make sure this is random number 2. And this time it'll be the sheriff, and then again, we're just gonna set sheriff, right? Then you'll go after the end, and then what you'll say is if player.name is not equal to murderer and player.name is not equal to sheriff, enter, which means of course they would be on the innocent team and stuff. You're gonna say player.team is equal to game.teams.innocent and stuff, right? Because they're neither the sheriff, nor the murderer and stuff, right? And then let me just double check we're okay. We are good. All right. But yeah, so like I said, we're just starting off pretty simple and stuff. Nothing too crazy. And then we could also actually no, never mind. So I'll keep adding on to the series stuff, and like we'll get into actually like rounds and spawning players and all that jazz in later parts. But let's go ahead and test to make sure everything works. As always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, including this one, all you got to do simply just read the description and find out how to gain access to that. All you gotta do is read the description. But okay, so we're gonna start this test just to make sure everything is working just fine. So I'm just gonna test real quick with some non-existent clients. So I'm gonna add a single player to the game, and nothing will happen, right? We need 3 players minimum, so I'm gonna go ahead and add 3 more. But you see my name is in the leaderboard. Now watch this. When the other players are added, you'll notice that it populates inside of the leaderboard and stuff. Boom, there we go. Player 1, 2, 3, 4 and stuff. That's a random error that has to do with Roblox's code. I don't know why they do that, but yep. And there you go. As you can see, right? Two of us are on the innocent team. They moved us from spectator. 2 of us are on the spectators team. One is a murderer, one's the sheriff. And as you can see, all our teams have been switched and stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed part one. If you guys want part two, all you gotta do is just show the series love and support. Let me know you want part two, and I got y'all and stuff. And then also just suggest any other video ideas you want in general, any games you want me to cover and stuff. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. And yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you all for watching.